There, Sandro. It's finished. Ah, the whole spirit of our age is in this ship. Discovery, progress, the search for new worlds. It's a pity you had to make it for de Medici. I didn't. I made it for posterity. I merely allowed de Medici the privilege of paying me for it. And, of course, he may keep it for the next few years till he dies. If you'd refused the assignment, you would have pleased the Wool Guild. We should support them in their fight with him. I'll support anyone who fights de Medici, but I do it better when I eat regularly.
I like eating, too. So I've given up wearing wool.
Great heavens! Angelica, where did you get that dress?
It was a gift.
You look like an Indian princess.
Feel it, Marco. Go on. Feel how soft it is.
Hey, who gave it to you?
Stefano.
Stefano? You mean the merchant that went off to make his fortune in the Indies a couple of years ago?
Yes, Marco. That one.
Stefano, my old friend. Oh, you look marvelous.
I returned with all my health.
And this wonderful dress for me.
Sandro.
Welcome home.
Brought something for you, too.
Ooh, what is it?
Mixture of herbs and spices for cooking. It's called curry.
So you've returned from your voyages with all the riches of the East.
No, Marco. I lost almost everything.
Oh.
Except the few things that were washed ashore. My ship sank in a storm on the way home.
But at least you're saved and we can drink to that. Oh, Sandro, it was our last bottle.
I used it to put out the fire.
Well, never mind. As soon as I've delivered my latest creation to de Medici, we'll all have money enough for all our needs, and then we'll really celebrate.
We can celebrate my folly. How can a man be such a fool as to leave a prosperous business and go sailing on dangerous seas? And I was clinging to a spar in the ocean, I asked myself that. I've been asking myself the same question 1,000 times since. But a ship is a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Beautiful piece of work, Del Monte. Beautiful.
Thank you, Your Magnificence.
Refreshment?
Thank you, no, Your Magnificence.
Oh, very well. You know, Del Monte, there is no one in Florence who admires your work more than I do. And yet, somehow, I feel that you resent working for me. Now, why is that?
Your Magnificence, I work for anyone who pays me to create beautiful things.
Oh, so you work for the one who pays you most, hmm? In spite of your principles, just like anyone else, in fact?
Oh, there are men in Florence who are prepared to starve for their principles, as the members of the Wool Guild are trying to prove, I believe.
Guild of Wool Merchants. Not one of them has ever been anywhere near starving. They hoard their money for years, and then when their taxes are raised, they stop work rather than face their responsibilities to the state. They seem to imagine themselves more powerful than the House of Medici. Well, they will find their mistake when I transfer the wool trade to Pisa.
Oh, Your Magnificence, how can you do that? After all, the wool trade is the lifeblood of Florence.
But not of the House of Medici. The wool exporters of Britain, with their magnificent ships, have already agreed to send their wool to Pisa and to nowhere else in Italy.
But, Your Magnificence, wouldn't that prove a rather costly operation, even for the House of Medici?
Oh, I forgot. You know nothing about banking, do you? The House of Medici has offered to allow the Duke of Urbino to participate in what can only be a profitable venture.
Ah, but not for the wool merchants, I imagine.
Very distressing. They really will starve eventually.
Well, I'm glad that I sell works of art and not wool. With your gracious permission.
Of course. I, too, am glad that he sells works of art and not wool. Beautiful, is it not? Look at the delicacy of this workmanship.
Your Magnificence, I should have advised secrecy, at least until the arrangements with the Duke of Urbino were completed.
Danger from Del Monte. I don't think he even understood my explanation.
Let me be quite sure that I understand your plan. Working through your banking interests, you will arrange for the raw wool to be sent to Pisa instead of to Florence.
Exactly. Our Florentine craftsmen will soon discover that they are short of raw materials, and when they have shown that they can no longer carry on, I shall remove their guild's franchise so no further rebellion will be possible.
And what if the Duke of Urbino refuses to finance this new enterprise in Pisa?
Oh, then I suppose I shall have to go into our wool guild. But don't worry, Machiavelli. I've taken steps to see that he does not refuse.
and then back to Egypt. I've been to places where people worship the sun and oxen. I've been to places where they worshipped fire.
But this curry that you gave to Sandro and the dress to Angelica, what else did you bring back in the chests you managed to save?
Nothing of any value.
Well, just the same, things never before seen in Florence or in any part of Italy.
The world's full of things never seen in Italy. The house is not as you knew it, Marco. I needed all the money I could get to stock the ship. The valuable things I sold before I left.
What about Marco's paintings?
The paintings I took with me. I wanted the rest of the world to know that the great artists of our day are Florentines.
I'm sure they proved your point. Is this stuff for cooking, too?
No, that's the juice from the bark of a tree. The natives use it to drive out devils.
I'm sure no self-respecting devil will stay around long enough to get that stuff put on him.
What's this for, Stefano?
The princes in India put it on the heads of elephants.
Stefano, I wonder, would you make a gift of these things to the Duke of Urbino?
Why? The Duke's a man of wealth. He might be insulted.
But the Duke is looking for an investment, and I don't think he could do better than invest in you.
Invest in me?
Invest in a ship to take you back to the East.
Oh, Marco. Do you want me to waste another 2 years of my life? Do you think I'm a born fool?
No, my friend. I think you're a born adventurer. Do you still have any more of these dresses like the one you gave Angelica?
No, it's the only one.
Oh. Angelica. Angelica, I'm sorry.
No, please, Marco. Please. Please, it looks so nice. Please.
Well, I hope it looks as beautiful on the Duchess as it does on you.
Pagolo insists on saying goodnight to our guests.
Oh, and tomorrow you'll tell me more about those boys who ride on the necks of elephants.
Certainly I will, Pagolo.
And about the storm.
You look very beautiful tonight, my dear.
Thank you, my dear. You see, Master Stefano, even my husband pays me compliments. It must be the dress. I'm indeed grateful to you.
And I, Stefano. This meal has been quite an experience. A small pinch of your spice into one dish and some of your herbs into another, and the food seems to be miraculously changed.
Now I must take Pagolo away. I shall have to sit with him until he goes to sleep. I'm afraid he may have become too excited. Come, Pagolo, bedtime.
Oh, and you'll tell me about those boys who climb up ropes and disappear into the sky.
Good night, gentlemen, and thank you.
Great pity that your friend here brought back such a very small supply of those spices. Very small.
Oh, but he made only one voyage, Your Grace. But with the experience that he has gained, he can make many more, and with more than one ship.
Has he more than one ship?
Oh, a powerful and far-seeing patron could provide him with a fleet.
Maybe. But ships cost money, a great deal of money, you know.
But it would be a small investment compared to the riches of the East that they would bring back. And not only wealth, but honor, too, to a patron of discovery and progress.
What do you think, Grifoni?
An interesting suggestion. But unfortunately, it will not be possible for you to build ships and accept the offer made to you by the House of Medici.
De Medici has recently done me the honor of inviting me to join him in a very imaginative scheme to control the import of wool.
But, Your Grace, what could be more imaginative than a plan that would enable you to control the trade of the whole known world?
Grifoni, we've come to no agreement with de Medici yet, have we?
No. Of course, I'm just as much a boy at heart as anyone. But there is one practical point. Can our guests offer the same security as de Medici?
You see, de Medici is investing in this scheme himself. And he's too shrewd to throw his money away.
Your Grace, the truth is that de Medici is investing in this scheme because the Wool Guild of Florence has dared to stand up to him. He wants to ruin them. If you join with de Medici, you will be little more than a junior partner. But if you were to build ships for Stefano here, the glory will be all yours.
Of course, a man like myself must consider his reputation with future generations.
Agreed. It might help to convince the Duke if he knew exactly what profit Stefano made on his first voyage.
But how can you measure the experience that he has gained or of the contacts that he's made in distant places?
Of course, I realize that later voyages will prove even more successful than this first one. By the way, where is your ship now?
After such a long voyage, you must understand that a ship requires a certain amount of refitting.
Naturally. Then it was damaged.
A little. It sank in a storm off the coast of Corsica.
Oh. What a pity. What a disappointment for you, my lord. The idea sounded most attractive.
Your Grace, if only
But we
you...
can hardly risk letting the Urbino fortune sink to the bottom of the sea.
Well, no, Grifoni. I'm sorry, gentlemen. Please stay here as my guest for a few days. You've given Pargolo so much pleasure, and myself too. Let me hear some more of your adventures. Oh, remarkable. Of course, the profits from the Medici investment might be large enough to enable me to build a ship and start trade with the East. But not for a year or two. Pargolo ill? He was full of high spirits today. Grifoni, come with me. Your pardon, gentlemen.
I don't think this Grifoni likes us, and I don't like him.
I think he's been bribed to influence our friend the Duke so that this de Medici scheme goes through.
Can't understand why this illness should strike so suddenly.
Fevers do strike appallingly fast sometimes. This is the most violent I've seen.
How could it have happened?
If I knew that, I'd know how to effect a cure.
With respect for your professional calling, an explanation does occur to me.
What is it?
The East is not only the treasure house our guests would like us to believe. In those countries, thousands of people die of plagues and fevers, worse than any we know in Italy.
And how could this be an Eastern disease?
How are diseases passed from one individual to another? By touch?
There are modern theories to that effect.
Well, there you are, then. The boy spent much time this evening close to Stefano. I think your guest brought you more than spices and embroidered silks. He brought this fever to your son.
What do you advise, physician?
Again, with respect to his professional calling, I would suggest that the man and his companions be shut away from further contact with anyone at the court until the boy recovers.
Recovers? But you said that thousands of people die of these fevers.
My son dies. None of those strangers will leave the palace alive.
Disappear into the sky.
What is it, Pargolo? What you saying?
The man. He throws up the rope and it stays there, up in the air. Stefano, Stefano.
The boy's delirious. Do something.
All that modern science can do has been done.
Stefano, you promised. You promised to tell me about the ship.
The boy's worse?
Wonderful ship.
Yes.
White sails.
Grifoni, make sure the man Stefano is allowed near none of my people.
He and his companions are in the room above this, under guard, until you decide what to do with them.
I'm so cold. The water's cold. Save me. Save me. I don't want to drown. The ship's sinking. Boys, ride on us.
Well, the boy's bedroom must be directly beneath us. I can hear his voice.
Yes, I can hear it too. If he's talking, he must be getting better.
He isn't talking. He's delirious. He's probably got some sort of fever.
Marco, you remember that liquid? The one that made Sandro splutter? I said came from the bark of a tree?
Yes?
Well, the natives use it to drive out devils. They know a man is possessed when he starts raving and talking complete nonsense. See what I mean?
You think that it might be some sort of a cure for fever?
Well, the symptoms are the same, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Where did you put it?
Where did I leave it now? Chest, I think. Here it is.
Well, now at least we have a chance. Oh, are you sure this stuff is harmless?
Quite. It may not cure the fever, but I'll guarantee it won't harm him.
It tastes bad enough to cure anything.
God!
I beg you not to consider this request, my lord. It can only be some kind of a trick.
But surely I must listen to what he has to say.
He can only do the boy harm.
He will not be allowed to. If he moves towards the bed without my permission, kill him at once. You say you can cure my son?
I believe that I can, Your Grace, if you will allow me to give him this.
It could be poison.
Then I will convince you that it isn't.
See it?
Well, what is it?
Nothing I know. Where did it come from?
It comes from the bark of a tree.
Another present from the East, like the fever?
If the fever comes from the East, then it's possible that the cure for it also comes from there.
The boy is too ill to be experimented with.
I'm afraid I must agree. My fellow physicians look on me as quite a pioneer in my profession, but I've no intention of giving a sick boy medicine distilled from the bark of a foreign tree that I don't know.
You want the boy to die?
Take him away!
Did it work? They wouldn't even let me near the boy's bed.
You weren't allowed to give the boy the medicine?
The Duke was persuaded that it was too dangerous. Grifoni was there. Well, thank heavens we still have this.
Do they want the boy to die?
Yes, I think they do. And then Grifoni will be sure that the money gets to the Medici and we'll get the blame.
Nothing was achieved.
Well, I got this.
Where did you get it from?
Oh, a little trick I learned from Angelica. I let one of the guards push me around a bit.
What's the good? You can't saw through the door with it.
No. I'm going to go down to the boy's room again, and I'm going to make him drink this stuff if I have to hold off Grifoni at the point of the dagger.
Marco, you're not going to jump. It's an 80-foot drop.
Don't worry. That balcony's just outside the boy's window.
Yes, but it's a sheer wall.
Now, don't worry. An artist is supposed to be good at judging distances.
When you had a blanket or a rope or something.
Marco! I'm not going to let you do this. You've done enough for me already.
Stefano, if the boy dies, what do you think is going to happen to us? Well, wish me luck. Forgive me, Your Grace. I would rather that you didn't call the guard.
What are you doing here?
All I want to do is to make that boy well.
Grifoni told me that you tried to poison him.
I'm sure he did, but is it likely that I would do a thing like that? I have more to gain if the boy lives.
And my husband forbade you to go near him.
Yes, I know that.
You take one step towards that bed and I'll call for the guard.
Your Grace, I want your permission to go near the bed. I must have your permission to give him this.
You're asking me to do that when our own physician wouldn't agree to it?
Your own physician would rather see the boy die than have him cured by something he doesn't recognize.
You're asking me to make a decision that might mean my son's death.
No, I'm asking you to give him a chance to live. This liquid, this juice from the bark of a foreign tree, must it be harmful just because it's something unknown in Italy? Look. My lady, there's a world beyond Italy. A world of other arts and sciences and other medicines. Your son may live to see it one day, if his mother will accept its wonders now.
Give the boy the medicine.
Pagolo. Pagolo. I want you to drink this.
That was nasty.
Pagolo, your friend Stefano sent this to you. You remember those boys that climb up ropes and disappear into the sky? Well, they take it all the time, especially when they're feeling ill and they want to get better.
There he is.
Seize him. You realize that the penalty for disobeying my orders can only be death? Don't waste any time about it.
Carlo, I asked him to give Pagolo the medicine.
You dare to risk your own son's life?
Someone had to take the responsibility.
I'm afraid the harm's already been done.
What are you waiting for?
Please, Carlo. Until we know. We must wait.
Take him to the turret room. If my son dies now, he will certainly die too. Instantly.
And if he lives?
If he lives, Marco Del Monte will have saved his life.
We can only wait.
Do you hear anything?
No.
fevers abating.
Thank God.
Pagolo.
Of course, my dear Marco, you understand I'd have regretted having you killed.
I'm glad to hear it, Your Grace.
I'm a mild man, much too mild. But when anything endangers my son's life,
Yes, of course.
well, let's drink to the boy's wonderful recovery.
Indeed, a wonderful recovery.
Something wrong, Grifoni?
I feel it's much too soon to celebrate.
Soon.
The boy's sleeping naturally. Fever's gone. When he wakes, he should be completely recovered.
I hope so, indeed. Meanwhile, my lord, may I have your permission to leave? I don't feel that I can cheerfully celebrate until I know the boy is fully recovered.
What you wish, Grifoni. Rather touched. No idea Grifoni felt so deeply about the boy. Now, my dear Stefano, you must stay here in Urbino and help me build the ships.
We shall need further supplies of the bark, Your Grace. The amount that Stefano brought wouldn't cure half a dozen fevers, as when he left.
A little, unless the guards have thrown it away.
Stefano, I'll go myself. With your permission, Your Grace.
Take it away. No, I don't want it. I don't want it, I tell you. Go away.
Drink it. It'll make you better.
I am better. No, please. I don't want to drink anything. Go away.
Drink it. You must drink it.
Father, help. Come quickly, Father. Help. Father, help.
What is your choice, this or that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I just offered the boy something to make him sleep.
Well, here's your opportunity to convince us all. Go on, drink it.
No! What does this mean?
Forgive me, Your Grace. Master Physician, do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
Well, is it poison?
Deadly poison.
He was offering it to your son when I came in, Your Grace.
But why? Why should he want to poison my son?
Tell them, Grifoni, who's paying you to make sure that this wool deal goes through.
The Medici can rot before he gets any backing from me. And you can rot too in a dungeon, Grifoni. You'll have ample time to compare De Benici's bribes with the wages of treachery. Take him away.
Pagolo, Marco saved your life.
Thank you, Marco Del Monte.
Stefano. Your friend Stefano is staying here in Urbino to supervise the building of the ships. I hope you and Sandro, too, will stay with us.
Then you will finance Stefano.
After what you have done for us, I could do no less.
You haven't answered my husband, Marco. Will you stay?
Thank you. Thank you both. But Sandro and I have work to do in Florence, so that Stefano here can continue to show the rest of the world that the best art of our day is Florentine.